Captions are indeed one of the best tools to enhance understanding. They provide clarity, improve accessibility, and allow people to follow along, regardless of language or hearing ability.
Join me as I take on the challenge of creating a summer landscape masterpiece using just my fingers, no brushes allowed. I've always been fascinated by the idea of creating something beautiful and intricate using unconventional tools, and what's more unconventional than using your fingers to paint a masterpiece? The concept seems crazy, but I'm excited to see if it's actually possible. Can I really create a stunning summer landscape using only my fingers? One of the biggest challenges I'm facing is the lack of precision. Fingers are big and clumsy compared to brushes, which can be precise and delicate. How am I going to create the intricate details and textures that make a landscape painting come alive? And what about the colors? Will I be able to blend them smoothly and achieve the subtle gradations that make a painting look realistic? Finger painting is often associated with kids' art projects, and it's hard to shake off the feeling that I'm somehow cheating by using my fingers instead of traditional tools. But at the same time, I'm curious to see what kind of unique effects I can achieve by using my fingers. Will the rough, impasto texture of the paint add a new layer of depth to the painting? The other challenge I'm facing is the sheer physicality of finger painting. I'll have to use my fingers to apply the paint, blend the colors, and create the textures, and that's going to take a lot of physical effort and coordination. My fingers might get tired, or worse, sore, from all the rubbing and pushing. Okay, enough talk, let's get started. I've chosen a vibrant color palette that screams summer, with blues, greens, and yellows that evoke the feeling of a sunny day by the lake. I've also decided on a rough, impasto texture to give the painting a tactile quality. First, I'm going to create the sky, a big, sweeping blue that will set the tone for the rest of the painting. I'll use my fingers to apply the paint in big, sweeping gestures, trying to capture the soft, feathery texture of clouds. As I work, I'm going to focus on building up the colors in layers, letting each layer dry before adding the next. Next, I'll start adding the trees, big, leafy green ones that will provide a pop of color against the blue sky. I'll use my fingers to create the rough, textured trunk and the delicate, lacy leaves. This is where the finger painting technique really comes into its own, as I can use my fingers to create intricate patterns and textures that would be impossible with a brush. As I work on the painting, I'm starting to get a sense of the unique character it's taking on. The rough, tactile texture of the paint is adding a new level of depth and interest to the painting, and the colors are blending and merging in ways that feel really organic and natural. This is it, the moment of truth. I'm going to take a step back and look at the painting as a whole, to see if it's come together the way I envisioned it. Wow! It's really starting to take shape. The colors are vibrant and fresh, and the texture of the paint is adding a new level of interest to the painting. It's an art form that's often overlooked, but trust me, it's so much more than just squishing paint around with your fingers. With a few simple techniques and some practice, anyone can create stunning works of art that'll make you wonder how it was even possible without a brush. So if you're ready to unlock your inner artist and get a little messy, then let's dive in. One of the biggest misconceptions about finger painting is that it's just for kids. You know, a fun little activity to keep them occupied on a rainy day. But the truth is, finger painting is a highly expressive and versatile medium that can produce some truly amazing results, regardless of your age. Another common misconception is that finger painting lacks the sophistication of other art forms. But I'm here to tell you that's just not true. With the right techniques and a bit of practice, you can create intricate patterns, textures, and colors that'll rival even the most skilled brush painters. I think a lot of people are also put off by the idea that finger painting is somehow cheating because you're not using a brush. But let's be real, it takes a lot of skill and control to manipulate paint with your fingers. And if you think about it, our fingers are actually way more precise than a brush. I mean, think about all the tiny details you can achieve with just your fingertips. It's truly incredible. Of course, there are some people who might think that finger painting is just too messy, too unpredictable. But that's actually one of the things I love about it. There's an element of surprise, of not knowing exactly how things are going to turn out, that's really exciting. And yes, it can get messy, but that's all part of the fun. So what makes finger painting so special? Well, for starters, there's the tactile experience of working with paint. You're not just applying it to the canvas, you're feeling it, manipulating it, shaping it with your own hands. It's a totally immersive experience that can be really therapeutic. And then there's the versatility. You can create everything from delicate, detailed patterns to bold, sweeping gestures. The possibilities are truly endless. Now let's talk about some of the techniques you can use to elevate your finger painting game. One of the most important things is to experiment with different consistencies of paint. Thicker paint is great for creating textures and impasto effects, while thinner paint is better for more delicate, watery strokes. You can also use different tools, like sponges or cloths, to create unique textures and patterns. And don't even get me started on color mixing, the possibilities are endless. Another key technique is to practice, practice, practice. Like any skill, finger painting takes time and patience to master. But don't be discouraged if your early attempts don't turn out exactly as you hoped. Keep at it, and you'll be amazed at how quickly your skills improve. And don't be afraid to experiment, to try new things and take risks. That's where the magic happens. Let's take a look at how these techniques can come together in a real-life finger painting transformation. I'm going to start with a blank canvas and just see where the paint takes me. Okay, so I'm starting with a rough outline of a flower, using a thicker, more impasto paint to create some texture. Now I'm going to add some more delicate petals, using a thinner paint to create a softer, more watery effect. And finally, I'm going to add some highlights and details, using a tiny bit of white paint to make everything pop. As I work, I'm trying to let go of any preconceptions about what the final result should look like. I'm just allowing myself to be guided by the paint, to see where it takes me. And you know what? It's actually really liberating. I mean, there's no right or wrong, just the process of creating something new and beautiful. And that's the beauty of finger painting, right there. It's not about creating a perfect, polished piece of art. It's about the journey, the process of creating something new and beautiful. And the joy, the sheer joy of getting messy and making art with your own two hands. So if you've been inspired to give finger painting a try, I say go for it. Don't be afraid to get messy, to experiment, to try new things. Because the truth is, anyone can finger paint like a pro, you just need to be willing to take the leap. And if you do try it out, be sure to share your creations with me in the comments below. I'd love to see what you come up with. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to tune in next time when I'll be sharing more painting techniques and tips. See you then.